How's it going, everybody? I actually wanted to make a video to review a game I played on stream that just took my mind and blew it. The story, the combat, the storytelling, like everything about this game just really hooked me and kept me in there. And I have like no words to describe how much I enjoyed it, but I'm going to try and sum it up here. But if you guys are new, I am Sigvallus. I have been trying to do streaming and content creating for a while. This is my first foray into content making of reviews and stuff like that. If you guys enjoy yourselves, please leave a like on the video and go ahead and leave a subscribe. That'd be awesome, and I hope you guys see you guys later. I will also link my Twitch in the description as well for you guys who want to catch up on me while I'm streaming. Maybe more games like this for me to review. So this game is called Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. It is a action RPG, kind of remnant of like the God of War 2018 and God of War Ragnarok. Those types of games, it plays very smoothly and everything like that. But this game is about you as a banisher trying to work with your dead so-called wife. They aren't actually married in the video game, but you guys work together to solve haunting cases and figure out how to get your wife's body back. That also is her crux of why she's staying in this world. But yeah, as I said, it is a remnant of the God of War series, of the newer series, of how it plays and the traversal and things like that. But the main backbone of the game is you play as these two characters, Antea Duetea and Red McWraith, who are the Banishers that you play. But I love Red. He is a glorious Scotsman, and Antea is so endearing. But back to the story. The Banishers are contacted to come to the colony of New Eden to help with a ghost and flu or illness problem they were having. You were contacted by three individuals: Fairfax Haxel, Thick-Skin Newsmith, and also, I believe his name was Lieutenant Samuel Pennington. They were all part of this colony to help with maintaining decorum and protection of the city, what they could do. Obviously, they didn't do a very good job. Once you get your assignment from the governor and everybody, you are entrusted with the information of what they believe is going on, and also telling you that your fellow banisher that was helping you and helped teach you, who also lived in New Eden, has suddenly disappeared, and you are trying to find out what happened to him and maybe return him back and see if maybe we can bring back New Eden. But with the information that we have, we go and talk to Charles's widowing wife. Her name is Esther, and we get to talking, reminiscing, everything like that. It's beautiful. I love the already woven connections that are already there. But once you guys get back with them, Esther tells you about how Charles has died. She doesn't really know how, or didn't really even get to go see the body. But she knows of it and was letting you know that she is willing to help in any way she can with what she knows, but she doesn't know very much. After this, we find out where Charles was killed and also about his burial site, and we are now into the main portions of the game of what you're supposed to do, which is the rituals and everything to summon forth people and specters and their remnants to find out what happened. With Charles, he was talking to a woman and a specter that he thought he knew, which it turns out he did know, which is the main crux of this entire game. This specter isn't very important. But with this echo that you can listen to and watch. You can see the past that they experienced, everything like that, everything around them, and anything around the certain objects or items that you are carrying or that they are carrying, to help understand how they died, why they died, and how we can piece this together to figure out how to either alleviate the curses or put back the rights or the wrongs that would be there. And back to the main things, when we find a place with a tie, is what they are called, you can make manifest the specters or ghosts that are haunting this area, or these people, to actually have conversations and figure out why these hauntings are happening, why they're doing these things, and things like that, which is a glorious thing. I love it so much how it's woven together. And also, the first time you do it is to bring back the master that taught you how to be a banisher in the first place. So poetic. But once you do make him manifest, Charles explains that he did in fact know the specter that was haunting this area. So did most of the town itself. But also, he gave a name to this curse and this plague, which is, this is the work of what's called a nightmare, which in Banisher lore has rarely ever been talked about, let alone seen. It is one of the most powerful versions of a ghost or specter that could ever be. It has the ability to warp time and reality, make plagues, anything like that. Does everything that points to what's happening in New Eden right now. And also, we find out that Charles is still here, lingering with Esther, and his word, trying to protect her, which is nothing wrong. I do the same thing for my wife, but sometimes you just gotta let go. And then you get to the next part of this, which is you can either banish or ascend specters and ghosts. When you do that, you either are literally obliterating their souls or helping them ascend to heaven. And I'm sorry, in my opinion, Charles didn't deserve to be banished. Yeah, he's a little possessive at this ending because he really wants to protect his wife, but he's doing it for a just cause, which is protecting. And there's nothing wrong with protecting your love.
I must stay. I must protect you. The thing in the meeting house feeds on our torment. I should have known better. I know better now.
Antea, give Charlie the ascent he deserves.
Charles Davenport, you have no reason to stay. Go. Let Esther grieve in peace.
After this very emotional scene, we get back to what's called the shelters, which are where you guys rest and improve your equipment and everything, but we'll get back to that in a second. When we do this, Red and Antea talk about their relationship, and talk about how they don't need a piece of paper or anything to explain why they love each other or why they want to be together. And it's a very beautiful, moving moment that makes this entire game's story and plot just all cement together.
Would you banish me? If it came to it.
You'll not escape me so easy. You I would bring back from the dead.
That's not funny.
I'd fill you with fresh essence. I'd give you so much essence you'd return bloated with life.
Steal essence from the living to feed my ghost. You wouldn't.
Then finally, after all these emotional scenes, we get to the actual main combat of the game. And this is the nightmare that we have for facing, and comes into a very powerful scene of how we can't beat it. There was never a chance for us to beat it. And this shows you how powerful a nightmare really, truly is. And how it needs to be taken down. Also, it comes down to the demise of Antea.
Will you come to her aid now, when all is lost?
Oh, shit!
If you do, I'll be waiting.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the beginning of the most breathtaking story I've played for a while. And it got me hooked right then and there. I was so ready to go in, and I was excited to see how it would go. And I was not disappointed. I'm telling you, this game had so many twists and turns that made me like second guess what I thought could happen in a video game. And I was okay with it. It was so good. But welcome to Banishers Ghosts of New Eden. But let's now actually jump into combat of the game. The combat of the game feels just like it does in, like I said, God of War. And the 2018 version of stuff like that. It's definitely a very theatrical and cinematic fighter. But in the essence of, you not only have to fight with Red, but you have to fight with Antea. Antea became a ghost. And is helping you fight these enemies and other specters in ways that just it's not in the sense of you only have one person to fight. You're fighting as two characters in one, and it's a seamless transition between both. It's just so good.
Right here. My love. Right here. Tis you. No!
I have you.
You have me.
And as I alluded to in the beginning, this is your rest and shelter screen where you can rest, recuperate, get your decorations back, which is basically like Estus Flask or the Health Shards in, like I said, God of War, or like an Estus Flask in Elden Ring or Dark Souls. Basically, it's a refillable health stem for you, but also where you can upgrade equipment and upgrade your skills. And upgrading equipment comes from gathering resources all throughout the world, are everywhere. You will not have to really worry about getting materials to upgrade things. And I was playing on normal, but it didn't really seem like it was all necessary to upgrade everything to the max wherever you can. I didn't have to grind for anything. Everything I had made sense in my progression through the game. I had no troubles with it. I only died, I think, max 7 times. But then again, I was playing on normal. I would definitely like to play through here again on the hard difficulty, see how different it can be. But as I said, it never seemed like you had to grind to get these things leveled up. This now comes to the essence where Antea becomes part of the team, and shows you her ghost powers, which is there are writings and spectral webs and things that nobody from the incarnate, which is the mortal side, can see. And the glow on the Bane rings, which is the rings on their right hands, show hidden objects or ritual spots. And this is a main mechanic. You guys will constantly be swapping between each, finding new things to upgrade yourself, to find caches, things like that. Any type of equipment or treasures you might find are going to be from this system. And this is what I was talking about in the increase of combat, where there are possessions or possessed bodies that Red can't really deal with, besides banishing or filling up the bars. But if there are things that you can't do, Antea is the one to deal with possessed bodies. She's the one that can do damage to them. This is the main mechanic where you guys are swapping in between fights. But also, Antea has a thing called a spirit gauge, where she can only stay in battle for a limited amount of time based on the spirit gauge, which you will increase throughout time. And everything she does can deplete that spirit gauge.
Ben, you're back.
Then comes probably one of the most fun parts of this, the haunting cases. This is the extra side quest you can do besides just fetch quests or anything like that to help people of New Eden get back to a sense of safety and security. So there are people who are either haunted, possessed, in fear of specters. And as Banishers, it's your job to help. This is one of them. This was the first one you can do, where you meet the trapper, Jacob. He was looking for his friend, Ben. Which, he also seems very fidgety and upset and scared. When you investigate his abode, you see rotten meat and maggots everywhere. And it just seems like disgusting to find out that he is possessed by his friend that we do not know was dead. No.
I can't do it no more.
On your feet, Lind. We don't give up.
I've had enough. There's no way up. There's no way down. For days we've eaten nothing but boiled shoe leather. I'm done.
We don't give up.
Leave me be.
God be damned, I'm sick of carrying you!
What are you doing? Don't hurt me. I hate you. I hate you!
Oh. Yeah, it turns out Jacob killed his friend. Then the wolves killed him, or ate him more. But then when you investigate his body, he's been carved out of. Pieces of him have been sliced off. Jacob has been eating Ben.
We'll tell lies. We'll harvest the essence of the living.
I'll shoulder the blame. As the man says, we face a choice, simple and awful. Do we kill to be together again?
Damn.
Or do we part forever?
We must decide now.
You've reached the closure of a haunting case, so the Banshee must decide. Blame the haunted inhabitant, ascend the ghost, or banish the ghost. Each closure will have consequences swiftly on Red and Anita's. Involves a couple. Reminder, if Red wishes to bring Anita back to life, he must banish the largest number of living settlers. Yes, you heard that right. If we want Red and Antea to be back together, we will have to murder people, even if nothing was wrong or anything was their fault. If we want Red and Antea back together, we would have to literally murder settlers for no reason. And I don't see the point in that. Especially when it's in this case, Jacob was starving, Ben was starving, tempers rose, actions happened, and Jacob lived on, Ben did not. So, we ascended Ben.
We made the right choice. We made it together. Taking a life is no small matter.
When I ascend, we'll be separated. For the rest of your life. Maybe for the rest of eternity. Never again shall we stand side by side. This thing we have, shall cease to be.
As a swear an oath to Antea, and together they will choose their fate. Choices we can make, choices you can make will bring closure, impact your chances to fulfill your promise to make one another. Remember, you remain free to make any choice you want, then bring closure. Matter the oath you have sworn, as long as you are ready to face the consequences.
Right. That's that settled.
So finally, within like 2 hours of me playing the game, I had to make 2 very hard decisions right off the bat with little to no information. But it's not forced upon you, and the story is written to the point where both sides are equally valid, and it's amazing. I love it so much. Was super glad I got this game. And this is it. This was the main crux of the game until we get to the Scourges. Scourges are the manifestation of multiple demised souls coming together in hatred and vengeance to make one solid entity that can feed into different forms, mostly from what I've seen, the forms of its killer. And this was a wild start for the game. Seeing this after hearing all these talks about how the people you are trying to save are trying to help you and everything that was made to seem normal was not, and find out that all of this was because of one person. What did Whistle Thickskin gave the second expedition similar to the one given to Red?
Iris! Your father is hurt and can walk no further. We must rest and treat the wounded.
We must find shelter. The cold night will kill us all.
Fire will bring the wolves.
And so does that accursed whistle. The wolves are already here. Where is Nicholas with the help from Thickskin's camp? Where's our deliverance?
We'll sound the call once more. Thickskin will come. She swore on it.
The whistles only bring the...
It's literally a dog whistle, so only dogs can hear it. She was thinning out the crowds.
wolves.
Thickskin Newsmith was the reason of all of this happening and why the scourge was made manifest, because she was trying to stop any weak people from getting to her camp so that way they could advance. It blew my mind seeing this, and such well writtenness. I love it. And then after more searching around, more evidence searching, you actually find the Scourge, and the first actual boss fight of the game starts, which is very interesting in the sense that it's just a normal boss fight. You go in, you dodge attacks, you start and slash and, you know, fight with Antea and Red, but it's still thematically a really cool and beautiful fight. First boss.
Come out, wherever you are. Come on, show yourself.
Red.
It's behind me, isn't it?
Yes.
Of course it is. Every bloody time.
And the last little bit that actually really shows off this game is the Spectral Nest and later on the Endless Nests, which are little boss encounters that you can fight to increase your stats. Everything you do from fighting monsters, from fighting into experience, or the Spectral Nests or quest completions give you some sort of increase or bonus to your stats. Like these nests will give a +1 to all stats if you do them, and there are quite a bit doing them, and they can be very difficult. As you can see, there are lots of bounding and a lot of things at one time. But once you get into them, like I said, I never really had a struggle with it. It was just me playing bad, basically. And these spectral nests are not really everywhere, but they are in decent quantity enough to where if you do them, you will actually want to do them to increase stats and things like that. And finally, with the last bit of this review, I wanted to show you that you do end up reliving and going back to places you've been and also finding old people that you've met, like Pennington and Haxel, who are in their own states of power, to find out that they are also part of the main story. And with this, it helps entice you to bring you back into the story, meeting these old characters again, going back and reliving memories and seeing how they've changed since the time you were basically dead. And it's a very moving, powerful essence of this game, which I enjoy very thoroughly. And finally, just wanted to show off another one of the boss fights to really show you how cinematic this game really is when it comes to their boss encounters and fights, that it really is just incredible to see. And also to show how these different bosses are also tied to the people that they inhabit or what they were inhabiting. But after all these stories and events and harrowing cases and haunting cases you have to do, you end up actually going back to New Eden, seeing what's happened after everything that's happened, seeing how much the nightmare's influence really takes over, and you finally get to get your revenge. So again, I just want to take this time to explain everything that I've heard, or everything I've seen with this game. The writing was masterful in the sense of the time frames in, the economic structure, and also the time frame and mindset people would be in during this time, with all these things that you can't describe, and bringing this into a setting where you, as a person who is known and help and everything, to also have to deal with the loss of your loved one and your teacher, to then finally come back and beat and stop the main bad guy. But also, when you do this, you have to make the hardest choice, and if you kept your oath, it is really hard. I honestly hated the good ending, which I'm assuming is the good ending for the Ascension part, because that's the whole point, is that you don't want to have to murder people to bring back your loved ones. Yes, it would help. Yes, you don't want to lose the one you love, but also murdering innocent people for things not their fault or things they didn't understand is not the right way to bring back your loved ones. And like they keep saying in this game, every time you are banishing a ghost, life to the living, death to the dead. But with all that said and done, I just wanted to thank you guys for watching. If you do enjoy the video, go ahead and leave it a like. Go ahead and leave some comments down there. Type in there what you want to see me do, try to do a review next. This is, again, my first forte into really doing review videos and everything. So tell me how I did. I always appreciate the feedback. But again, if you guys like what you see, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, let a like, go ahead and leave some comments. And also, if you guys want to watch these playthroughs live, I also have a Twitch, which I'll be linking in the description. And I hope you guys had a great time with this video, and I'll see everybody later.